afternoon, everybody. This is Red We Met coming to you on the 5th of May, 2023.
No, it's the 24th of May.
24th. Okay. You got the year wrong. I got the day wrong.
Well,
5th of May. How about May 5th, May 24th,
Cinco de Mayo today. Cinco de Mayo, huh? That happened already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So we're going to talk about weapons.
Yes.
Guns.
Yes.
Okay.
Specifically, handguns were designed for protection. Going way, way back. That's what they're designed for, protection. They were small guns. Then they got the bigger guns. But then there was also long guns that came around. But basically, with the Chicago outfit, I want to discuss what kind of guns, what kind of pistols everybody used or wanted to use. And generally speaking, if they were for murders, generally speaking, they used a high standard or a Colt 22 long barrel, the Colt Woodsman, or the high standard 6-inch barrel for murders. And in other cases, that was the weapon of choice for murder, as far as looking back. But in other cases, generally speaking, some of the guys I knew, like Milwaukee Phil, Joey Lombardo, Dick Hoyt, and someone from the Grand Avenue crew that I actually had contact with, they used a snub-nosed 38. It was easy to conceal, and that's what they used. Joey didn't carry around a gun towards the end because he didn't need one. He had bodyguards. And a lot of these people that had bodyguards, they don't need guns. They don't need to carry a pistol. It wasn't that way. So in my case, my weapon of choice that I purchased in 1970, I've had this since 1970, folks. It's a 45 automatic. I'll take it off. Satin nickel finish. It's a Colt, and I bought it from the factory, from Colt Firearms, and basically it's a heck of a pistol. It really is. But I carried this in the small of my back for years. I wrote about it in my book, my 45. I still have it, and it's kind of, I don't know. It's a collector's item now. It's a satin nickel finish. It's a 4-inch barrel, and that particular model, they came out with a 45, just like this one, or the same model came out with a Super 38, and it also came out with a 9mm, and that was popular, starting to get popular back then. The Browning Bobcat was very popular, and that was also a lot of people I knew.
Model 1911.
This is not a 1911. This is a Combat Commander, and it's basically it's like I said, it's a satin nickel finish. It has a grip safety and everything on it. It's made by Colt, and it's kind of rare. You don't find these anymore. When I go to look for one, I can't replace it.
How many does the magazine hold?
Pardon?
Magazine capacity.
7 rounds. You put one in the pipe, you got one in the chamber, it's 8 rounds.
Gotcha.
So, but really, it's a man stopper. You can hit somebody in the thumb and flip them over. It doesn't. Yeah. It tears an arm off.
Yeah. So is that a Series 70? Don Cheech wants to know.
Yes, that is a 70. I'll read the serial number to you if you want. I don't think you can see it. Let me turn this around. It's a 70S.
Okay. Do you prefer the 9?
No, I like the 45.
Okay.
Because it's a man stopper. It'll stop anything. It'll stop an elephant. But I carried this around in the small of my back for many years. I wrote about it in my book. And when I talk about the 45 I carried, that's what I carried. The 1911 is a 5 and almost 6-inch barrel, 5 and a half something like that, inch barrel. This
Yeah.
one's a 4 1/4. It's a little bit smaller, but it's not too small. It won't jump out of your hand, but it makes a lot of noise. It really does. It makes a lot of noise.
Does being a Marine play into that?
Pardon?
You prefer the 45 because do you think it has anything to do with you being a Marine?
Yeah, it does. It's knockdown. The Marine Corps used to have 38s years ago.
Okay.
And then in the Philippine insurrection, they were shooting the enemy, and the enemy would come at them and kill them with a machete. So they came out and got the 45. They switched over to a 45 because when you hit somebody, it blows them away from you.
Right.
It actually it's a very good weapon.
Yeah.
For a lot of things.
So Luminous, YouTube, as long as you're showing or educating an audience about a particular weapon, you can show it. And they won't, I know you started a YouTube channel, so I just want you to know, they won't.
This one is not loaded.
Won't shut you down.
This one is not loaded in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, it'd be different if Red was sitting there talking about,
waving around, brandishing.
I'm gonna go do such and such thing. Like that'd be a different story, But it should be all right. Just showing his excuse the verbiage, but showing his guns there. So
the Beretta was used by the military also. The Army used it, and I don't know what the Marine Corps is using now. I think that we're using Sig Sauers, 9mm. But everybody's gone to the standard of 9mm now in the military. Bobby Donut says
Beretta 11 shot 22 semi-automatic. Deborah Day said, "Wow, nice piece, Red."
Yeah.
Deborah likes your piece.
Thank you, Deborah.
Tim Peroni, what about that fireball that James
I kept
fired?
that for Lime. I'm getting rid of it.
What's the matter?
That is one heck of a weapon. That is a single shot. It's a pardon?
You have a little lag going on.
It's one load. Okay. It's a single shot. You load it, and that's it. You got one shot. And that's all you need with that thing. It's a beast. It really is. Brian Glade has a comment here.
Brian Glade, 22 was a Dorfman stopper.
Yes, but that was used by Frank Schweiss. That was his weapon of choice. It was he was a signature killer. He only used the 22.
And if you watch the movie Casino, Frank Collada plays himself in the end, shooting the guy, which is supposed to be the recreation of the killing he did in 1979 in town. But he also kills Alan Dorfman in the movie, who's Alan Glick. So Frank Collada played Frank Schweiss in the movie Casino, technically speaking.
Wasn't Alan Glick? He didn't kill Alan Glick.
No, Dorfman. No, who was the one what was Dorfman's? I'm sorry, I'm getting names confused. Alan Dorfman, the name in the movie, Andy Stone. Sorry, that was the character name, Andy Stone. He killed Andy Stone. So,
and for a fact, Irv Weiner was right next to him. That was in 1975. I lived on Richmond, 4121 Richmond at that time, and I raced over there to see because I heard it on the scanner. I didn't know it was just a homicide, and it was a kind of weird homicide because it was in a parking lot. And when I got over there and found out what it was, I got the hell back, went home immediately. But that was Frank Schweiss's handiwork. He liked that 22. Yeah. As far as somebody had a question up here, as far as Tony Spilaccio goes, every murder that he was connected with that I know about was a shotgun. With Sam DiStefano, it was a shotgun. With Danny Seaford, it was a shotgun. So that was I believe his weapon of choice.
Yeah.
He never mentioned He may never mentioned it to me, so I don't know.
Okay, Scott H. Two guys that survived half loads, Jerry Listener and Tokyo Joe.
Right.
I agreed. Tokyo Joe survived the half loads.
Yeah.
And Listener survived 6 half loads. I think it was 6.
6 shots in the head.
Well, I don't know if all of them were in the head. The first 2 were. But then he chased him and he unloaded the rest of the gun into him. I don't know where he hit him. But the next 6 that Mateki brings in, are they half loads too? Or weren't they? I don't know.
No, they were full loads.
Okay. So then I guess he did survive them, but he didn't survive the full loads. So you got that. All right, talking about 45s versus 9mm. Don Cheech said the worst thing the Army could have done was go to a 9mm.
I agree.
Yeah, the 9mm jammed more than the 45. Yeah.
Never had any problems with my 45 ever. Not over there, not here in the States. This particular one has never misfired, never jammed. It's never had a problem. The only thing I've ever replaced on it is the firing pin when it got worn down.
Sean Pender out there in the Heights, Chicago Heights. Bowling alley in Chicago Heights in the early 70s burned down. They found Tommy guns, bulletproof Cadillac, and an airplane in the basement. Wonder who was the owner. Wow. That's pretty interesting. I've never heard about that.
I never heard about that either, Sean.
Freaking airplane in the basement? I mean, I'm sure it was a small airplane, but still, bulletproof Cadillac? Boy, I would think that's got to have something to do with organized crime in Chicago. I'm just guessing, taking a
and
guess.
Geographically, I'd say, it was right in the right place.
Okay. The Filipinos were wrapped in wet leather and high, and the 38 wouldn't knock them down.
Not only that, they had machetes that they were fighting with, and they cut a guy's arm off, and they cut, anything. If he's holding out a pistol, they cut his arm off. So they went to the 45, and believe me, that put him down.
The 30, it's okay. That's the reason. Interesting. There's a lawyer on YouTuber that always has a gun on his desk, Bruce Rivers. It's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay to display. It's fine. Again, yeah. Who's the other guy that has that? I think Crowder, Louder with Crowder has a show there. He has a gun sitting on his desk too. So, yeah. Tim Files' story on the fireball makes a lot of sense. Files' story on the fireball makes a lot of sense.
It does.
What are we talking about? No, we're going to the
we're talking about the Kennedy assassination.
I know we're going to the JFK shooting. Tell me, what are we talking about here? What's the fireball theory? I've forgotten. As Red fires
the
one
fireball, up. The fireball was a safety. It was a last resort. If all the other, it's claimed, I don't know, I wasn't there, but it's claimed that they didn't use the Gargano. Those Garganos weren't used, or that Gargano. There was Mausers that they used. And the Mauser was more accurate. Mauser rifle was more accurate and definitely more. But if they missed a moving target, he was there for the last shot. So he claims. And I believe him. I honestly believe him. People are asking, why did he come out and make a book after he got out of prison? Why did he do all these things? Well, it's very simple, folks. You don't understand. When Jim West was going in to see him in prison and talked to him about this, and by the way, there were 2 undercover CIA agents that were working as policemen that tried to kill him. And he killed one of them, or maybe both of them. I don't remember. But that's why he was in Joliet or Statesville, whichever one he was in. And at the time, before Jim West went in there, he said, I won't talk to you about this. And Jim West got him immunity from the state of Texas. And there was no laws on the books at that time about killing a president being a federal crime. It was a Texas crime. So the governor gave him immunity. And that's why he can walk around today and talk about it. And that's a fact, folks.
Wow. Oh, William Kirchmayer. My 98K Mauser is dead on balls accurate.
That is a fine weapon. That's a fine weapon, Kraut. I like it.
Okay, I got a couple of comments here starred. Okay, so have you read Files' book?
Yes.
Okay, what'd you think of it?
It wasn't detailed enough.
All right.
But I'm a critic. I'm a critic on everything.
Several years ago, I did watch most of Files' interview. It was on YouTube. I understand.
It's taken down now.
Why was it taken down?
Because now he's out and he has the rights to a book.
It says it's up on Rumble. That you can watch it there.
Somebody probably copied it from YouTube and put it up on Rumble.
Yeah, the Carcano was a cheap Italian rifle. It cost less than $20. No way was that the weapon.
I got one right here. And believe me, you couldn't hit a barn at 10 feet away. They're terrible.
Jacqueline Moore, good evening. Nice to
good evening, Jacqueline. How you doing?
Joe Paiunti, Don. Chicago Heights Fire Chief was Joe Paiunti in the 80s and 90s. Yes, Joe's okay. You guys are having a side chat there. Not that he may have killed one of them, but not both of them. I've heard both ways. I've also heard that they both survived.
Both of who?
Both of who, Tim? Mauser was actually found in the back of the school depository originally, and
yes,
then
it was.
changed the story.
Yes. And now it's a museum. You go up, you pay to go up there.
Yeah, that's what it is.
People go there to donuts. How about the Springfield rifles?
Yeah, the Springfields.
Yeah, there were the bolt action Springfields. They were very accurate. As a matter of fact, snipers used to use them. And they went from there to the M1 Grand. And that was a hell of a weapon too. And from the Grand, they went to the M14, which I'm very familiar with. And I'm familiar with the Grand too. I fired 2 or 3 Springfields, and they're accurate, man. Very accurate. The only thing I don't, you can't get out and touch somebody at 100 yards with them. And with the M14, you can.
Chicago Heights Fire Chief in the 80s and 90s was Joe Paiunti. Got it right. Thanks, Don. Paiunti. What the hell? What the hell?
Francie Brady, that butcher boy.
That never gets old. Okay.
I'll be back at donuts. The 30-06 is it's an old standby. It's been around for a long, long time. Very good weapon. Very good weapon. Not many outfit people carried those.
Okay. When Files was ambushed by the cops up north, his buddy shot one of the cops. He had an AK that jammed. Files never killed either of those CIA agents. He was framed. He went to jail over what he knew about Mena, Arkansas. What did he know about Mena, Arkansas, Red?
That was a gathering place. There's a theory on that. And that was a gathering place for CIA operatives. And eventually it became the center of smuggling for cocaine. That's a fact. With Barry Seal, they used to fly him in there. It was actually a closed military base. And the CIA went in there and started using it, or some agency went in there and started using it to smuggle cocaine. And then along came Bill Clinton, who was governor. And he sent his police officers out there, and they weren't gained access, state police. So he took the National Guard and called National Guard and surrounded the whole base. And after that, they had to, and that was his election seat. That's how he got into public office. Knowledge.
Wow. I got another couple comments here starred. All right, so Sonny has a retaliation here. Files said he got paid for the Kennedy hit. The outfit didn't pay anyone for a hit. It's an order you follow with no compensation.
And Files was not paid. He was paid his expenses. That's like I was a paid informant. I was paid for my expenses. That's
Okay.
all. He was given money for his expenses to drive here, drive there. Chucky Nicoletti paid him.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's a fact.
Brian Glade, Red, I heard Michael Spilatro carried a small 22 when he was ambushed in the Bensonville basement. He had about 22 on him?
I think it was a 25, if I'm not mistaken. Could have been a 22, but it was a small little ladies' gun. It was just a self-protection. Anything that's a crowd that was there, I'll tell you that much. And they didn't find it until they actually started beating him when he was going down the stairs.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he had I did not know he had a weapon on him at the time. Interesting. Mena was a cocaine distribution hub. It was allowed by Bill Clinton. And for
No,
those
it
of
wasn't
you
allowed. He changed it. He tried to stop it.
Oh, he tried to stop it?
Except Vice President Bush wouldn't let him. Guns for Contras.
Bill Clinton's vice president wasn't Bush.
Bush was vice president. Bill Clinton.
Oh, who was Bill Clinton's vice president? It wasn't Bush.
Clinton had.
Bush might have been in charge of CIA or something at the time of Clinton's
He was.
administration.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. He was always part of the CIA. Once CIA, always CIA. They
Okay,
don't
gotcha.
change.
Wow.
But Medellin was a distribution center.
Cocaine was being flown into Mena to finance dark ops by the CIA.
Guns for Contras. That was under
Okay.
Reagan.
Got it.
Oliver North took a beating on that because
Yeah.
the president ordered him, while he was a lieutenant colonel, he ordered him to lie before Congress. So he resigned his commission so that he wouldn't be held in contempt of court or lying before Congress. So he could go back and say, I did it. I was ordered to, and now I'm not under orders anymore. But that got pushed underneath the rug. Nobody knows about that, really.
So let's see here. Kissy Cat. She says you get a free assault rifle in Texas for buying a lifetime membership to CCA. Nuts. What's the CCA? Is this the Coastal Conservation Association in Texas?
Yes.
Join anglers from all over the state to be part of a Texas grassroots tradition that works to ensure health and conservation of marine resources and anglers' access to them. This sounds like a fishing club. No, I'm serious. It sounds like a fishing club.
Yeah.
CCA, a special gift for new members. CCA Texas Life members. For a limited time, a new CCA Life Texas Life member, it's $1,000 plus $50 shipping, can receive a custom CZ Drake over under 28 gauge shotgun.
That is not a.
It's not an assault rifle. That is an over under 28 gauge shotgun.
Right.
Yeah. With a walnut stock, a black gloss barrel, receiver finished 28-inch barrels, and 5 interchangeable chokes. That's pretty good. That's a good deal. I mean,
if you like a 28 gauge.
Yeah. But that's not an assault rifle. I mean, that's a shotgun. There's a big difference.
I don't really agree.
It's an over-under. That means there's a barrel over and a barrel under. Yeah.
I really my personal opinion is I don't believe the public should have an assault weapon. Assault weapons are made to assault. That's what they are. So if you're in combat, you might need it. But in the streets of Chicago or any place else, you don't need an assault weapon.
Huh?
Need.
Tell the
Want? A different story. Need? Yes.
Many people in Mena were killed because they knew about it. Wow.
Yes.
Did not know that.
A lot of people. A lot of mysterious deaths came around.
CIA was working with Files was working with the CIA and the outfit.
Yes,
That
he
wouldn't
was.
be surprising at all. So, Luminous Grin, what's an assault rifle?
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. You wanted to talk weapons, Red. You were the one that's
It's
like,
a military. It's a military weapon. It's a military weapon. An assault rifle is defined as something to assault with, to get forward with.
Okay, let me ask you something. Can you assault somebody with the pistol that you have right there? Because assault, the definition means make a physical attack on.
Yes, so yes, I did. Yes, I did. When Ken Hansen shot me in the leg, when I was out at 59 and 22, the old thoroughbred, the old the Seahorse, old thoroughbred training center. Ken Hansen went to meet me right after the George Jane murder, and he shot me in the leg with a 25 automatic, and I pulled it out and popped a shot in the ground. I did not shoot at him. I shot in the ground, and believe me, the noise woke him up. That was it.
All right. According to Wikipedia, an assault rifle is a selective fire rifle that uses an intermediate cartridge, and a detachable magazine.
Right.
Okay, that's the definition in the first sentence.
So it can be used by your buddy. It can be used by somebody else on your fire team. It can be used by anybody because you all have the same. Everybody has the same. That's
so
why
the
it's an assault
CC.
weapon.
So this organization, I guess, gave out AR-15s in 2013 as part of their. So there's no such thing as a civilian assault rifle.
That's correct.
Okay. Assault rifle is a term like hate speech. It's government bullshit, according to the crowd.
I disagree with that.
Okay, because I'm kind of like I'm leaning towards, bear arms means bear arms. So I don't think.
Why can't I have a 50 cal mounted on the front of my house?
I don't think you need a Gatling gun. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you need a Gatling gun. I mean, but really, it's every year it's a different promo for them. I'm sure they want to keep people buying their lifetime memberships for that. It's a fishing club. They go fishing. Which brings me to the question, what do you need a rifle for to go fish? Protection while you're fishing.
They're sporting club. It's a sporting club. It's kind of like Joey and Yupa's hunt club,
Yeah. Your boy, Roy Boy. My belief is if the cops have them, then citizens should have them too. Yeah, I'm with you, Roy. I really.
I'll go with that. If the
cops can walk around.
I remember the day when Chicago police couldn't have anything but a 38. They couldn't even have a 357. It was against the rules. And then later on, they went to 357. Then they went to automatics. They had an automatic pistol in the 80s, early 80s. They let them carry automatics.
Ultra cowboy. If you clear your background check, I believe in the Second Amendment. You should be able to have a bazooka. You should be able to take a law and carry it around just like Michael Douglas did it in Falling Down. Defense, baby. Defense. You shoot the movie, mister. Yeah, how do you this thing pulls out like that and this and that. Come on, that was a great movie. Oh. Only military should have them.
Ultra Cowboy says he's got a comment here.
Background check, give Red a 50 caliber. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I got a clear background with ATF. There's no problem. I even had some weapons that are registered with the ATF. I paid the $75 a year tax stamp on them. But they also, you sign an agreement. Whenever they want to, you have to produce that weapon. And if they want to take it into custody for some reason, like a president's coming to town or something like that, a dignitary, they can take it and give it back to you. And they do.
Okay.
They give you a receipt for it.
So, according to Brew City 2, the United States Supreme Court ruled decades ago that civilians are allowed firearms the military uses.
That's correct.
Supreme Court. Arms are arms. Our arms are arms. Hey, did you hear about the guy? And I just happen to know, like, through somebody, friend of a friend, I guess, they were going through grandpa's stuff in somewhere back in Indiana, going through grandpa's stuff and found a hand grenade and pulled the pin, and it was a live grenade, went off, killed the guy, and like the two kids are
That's why they shouldn't be in homes. They shouldn't be in civilian use.
I'm just saying, I just heard about this, okay? But I'm thinking to myself, where did Grandpa get a grenade from? You know what I mean? A live grenade. Where'd Grandpa
They're
get
available. They're available.
They're available, huh?
Mm-hmm. If you really want one, you look for it. You'll find it. You'll also find an ATF agent to arrest you.
Red, you're really educating people today. Tim Peroni. Great.
Thank you, Tim.
Glad you're enjoying this. Kirchmeier, the crowd, full auto or select fire capable with a large capacity magazine or belt fed is the closest thing to an assault weapon. Okay.
I would agree.
Sure.
I would agree, Kraut.
Yeah, the police started using them because they were outgunned. Yeah. You know why? Because bad people don't follow the law. And if you're told
right.
you can't have a gun, guess who's going to have a gun? Bad people are going to have guns, which is why you need good people with guns to stop the bad people with guns.
So anyone that owns or possesses a firearm, if he's not a convicted felon, and if he abides by the law and he goes through a background check, I think he should be able to have a weapon. It's the problem is we have too many people with weapons that are stolen or they picked them up in an illegal manner, something that's against the laws. They've kind of tightened the laws, but they don't enforce them as well as they could. It would save a lot of deaths.
Ultra Cowboy, weapons are for tyrant governments. I love the Second Amendment. Okay. Consumer rifles are not assault weapons. This is great, you guys. This is really and Kissy Cat got shot in the pinky by a pellet gun and it hurt like hell. Do you know what we used to do, Kissy Cat, when we were kids? Oh, this isn't a joke. We had the air pump a pellet gun, okay, which could pierce your skin. And then we had the BB gun, the little tiny copper BBs that you shoot. We used to shoot each other with those. Okay.
We had BB gun fights when I lived in Cicero.
Yeah. We had BB gun fights when we were kids. Yeah, it hurts. That's supposed to hurt. It's not gonna permanently hurt you, you know what I mean? It's gonna sting a little bit for a minute, but yeah.
Sometimes they break the skin.
Yeah, a pellet could. Those little lead pellets, those could. Right. If you pumped it enough, man, you got enough, that, yeah. No,
my pistol.
Yeah.
A lot of my pistols and that particular one that I showed you folks at the beginning, that one or all those pistols were registered in the city of Chicago. Each pistol was registered. The serial number and everything was registered with the city of Chicago. That particular one too. And I had a stack of registrations like this thick because I had a lot of guns. But if you register them and you go through the FOID in Illinois and you go through registration, I have no problem with that person owning it. Now, if a straw man comes in like your wife, because you're a convicted felon, and she goes and buys it, I have a problem with that. Or your girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Or the opposite. You buy for your girlfriend or your wife. I have a problem with that too.
The speaking of Woody Harrelson's father, I think one of his wives went to prison for a few years because she went and bought a gun for him to use.
That's what I call a straw man.
Yeah. So
that's the straw man law.
Fishing with guns is fun. Sonny Zarro, believe it or not, anyone can own a flamethrower. That's sick. Meaning
you can.
Sick,
you can own a flamethrower.
Good or that's bad? Because, dude, I'd like to.
They're one heck of a weapon. I loved them. I
Did
I
you
loved
do
them,
you
man.
use them?
It's one heck of a weapon.
Wow.
Yeah,
I've seen videos of all going.
you got
I thought
you got
I
6
thought
matches on them. There's 6
isn't
matches on to light them.
yeah. Didn't Tesla make a flamethrower now? They have like a
I don't know.
flamethrower. Tesla does. Yeah, I thought I saw something about that. I don't know. Um, okay. All weapons shoot faster than I can afford the ammo. Kurtzmayer. Yeah. You want to Don
Ultra
Cheech,
Cowboy
Adam.
has a comment here. Go ahead.
All right, we'll get to his in a second. Adam, a .223 or 5.56, which is the caliber of 99% of ARs, is an underpowered round for the size of coyotes. They were made to wound you in battle because it took 3 people off the battlefield.
Yes, tumbling action. That was the
Got
old original AR-15s armor lights. It had a
So
tumbling action bullet.
they didn't make them. Hold on, they didn't make them to kill
Didn't
people. In other
spiral
words,
them.
wait, Don, what you're trying to say is they didn't make these guns to. They didn't want the soldiers on the other side of the field to die, because if you shot them and they died, then they just leave them lay there. If they shot them or wounded, their comrades are going to come grab them and pull them off, and it's going to take 2 guys plus that guy out of the battle.
A very common thing in Vietnam for our side is
Momentarily, anyway.
They would shoot a medic or a radio man, and then somebody'd have to go out and help them. Ultra Cowboy.
Ultra Cowboy, once you pay your dues to society, your Second Amendment should be restored.
In some states it is, Ultra Cowboy. In some states it's not. There's a time period. It could be 10 years. It could be whatever. Each state has its own laws. And I don't think everybody deserves their rights back. I really don't.
Did the NVA and the Charlie Kong have medics?
No.
Did they have medics?
Not that I saw.
They didn't have people running around with the Red Cross on? No?
No way. That was a target, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Even our corpsmen used to run. They take that off. You know, the sign. They didn't want. That was a target, man. You didn't put that on you. Corpsman. He come crawling up with camouflage on and everything else.
Yeah. Tim Perrone, in a recent interview, Files says Hillary sent him to jail for what he knew about Mena, Arkansas.
Said who?
Yeah. Endangered species. You should have seen when they made guns illegal in Australia. People lined up and turned them in by the thousands.
Yeah,
they did that in England too, and then they crushed them all, and then shootings like dropped. Suddenly there was like no shootings anymore, no gun fights. You know what happened? Stabbings went up. Poisoning went up. Yeah, no, it's not a lot. It's not a joke. That's what happened.
Guns don't kill people. People kill people.
No. Listen, it's not the fork's fault that I'm fat. Okay? Well, it's the fork's fault. No, it isn't. It really isn't. Oh man. You're going off the crazy end.
Yeah.
John Cooley Jr., I'm Illinois. You're effed. Sorry to hear that you're there. Mass shooters probably don't need their gun rights restored. The 18-year-old that banged a 17-year-old. Hold on. Bruce City, mass shooters probably don't need their gun rights restored. The 18-year-old that banged a 17-year-old boyfriend, yes.
A gangbanger that commits a crime at 18 years old and shoots somebody with a pistol, they don't need their rights restored. They're going to go back and do it again. They're probably still doing it. They went and stole some guns.
It's just what's going to happen. Adam, I need you to interpret my English. I know speak so well. Oh my gosh. And a pencil doesn't spell a word wrong. You do. It's a tool.
That's correct.
Yes.
I agree, Don.
Ultra
Cheech,
Cowboy.
right.
First thing they did in Venezuela was they took away the guns. Yeah, because when you can't fight the government, yeah.
Well, that's what they did in Poland during World War II.
Yeah, the
Because
same
all the
thing.
weapons, all the guns were registered at the post office. So they raided the post office. They knew which houses to go to.
Crazy, you know. Brill Crawley, I believe Florida's going to let people conceal carry without a permit. You know anything about that, Red?
There's talk of it. I don't think we should have it. In some places, it's done by county. In some places, like the county I live in, they don't mind if you carry open, if you're a resident.
Robert? Okay. Sorry,
Pardon?
Red. Keep going. I'm sorry, Red.
If you're not a resident of Florida, they don't have reciprocity for that, for open carry. Actually, they do have reciprocity on a concealed weapons permit, but you go through a lot to get one here. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy at all.
It's not too difficult in Nevada to get one, and it's open carry. Anybody can open carry. So
that can be dangerous.
You got to have a concealed.
Not for you, but for some idiot that's out there that gets a hold of one. And he's walking around with an open carry, and he doesn't even have a registration. It's not fair.
Yeah. Robert, the fork didn't help. The fork did help. It did its job. It got the food from the plate to my mouth. It did its job. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It just was a fork, and it's still just a fork.
One of our fine viewers here on the side, I forget which one, made a comment about pencils don't spell bad or words, misspell words. People misspell words. It's not the pencil's fault.
No, it really isn't. Matt
Hit that
Attack,
like button, folks. I need all the help I can get.
Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button, and hey, if you haven't gotten it yet, get Red's book. Nobody cared what I did about it. You can order it from his website, redwemet.com, and get yourselves a copy of his book. Interesting, very interesting story. Yeah. So I'm just trying to catch up here, Sonny. I just want legal gambling. Legal gambling. Come to Vegas, kissy cat.
That's right.
Statutory rape is more. Oh, I get what you're saying now. Now I get it. The guy who banged his 18-year-old, 17-year-old boy. What he's saying is that statutory rape is more of a crime than gun crime. 3
people I've helped out here. They were teenagers, and they were arrested for statutory rape, and they were 35 years old. And I helped them fill out the forms because they didn't know they could do it. It was during the last, not the election before. It was during 2016, the election of Trump. And they said, I don't know how to do this. It's not fair. And I said, well, wait a second. I'll download the form for you. And I did. And I helped them fill them out. And they got their rights restored. Totally. They got their rights restored. And Scott H says CCS is going to be open here.
Says right here. In Florida goes into effect in July. You got another month and a few days there.
Doesn't make any difference to me. I've been carrying open ever since I've been here.
Yeah. So let's see here. First, we talk nut jobs. Now we talk gun nuts. We be nuts. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen, right? Endangered species. Yeah, Governor DeSantis says 3 months ago they're going to allow anyone to carry without a permit. I saw it myself. Hey, speaking of Red, do you know what's happening tonight on Twitter?
No.
So there's this thing called Spaces. You can join the Spaces and listen in on them, and you get thousands and thousands of people in them. And I guess that Elon Musk's going to be in one of the Spaces tonight with DeSantis, and DeSantis is going to announce his bid for the 2024 presidency.
Boy, that'll be a big blow for Florida.
That's what's going down tonight.
He actually ran on the platform that he was served 4 years. And if he's going to cut it too short, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people.
John, in Tennessee, we have open carry. No classes required, etc. And guess what? No shootouts in the streets by lawful gun owners. Yeah,
No.
no, yeah. Why
Same
would
thing
there
as
be?
North Carolina. North Carolina is the same thing.
Yep. Why? I mean,
Montana's the same thing. A lot of states. But that's why it should be left up to each state and each county. It should not be left up to the federal government to decide. New York, Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. I don't know. Each one should have their own rules. If you don't like it there, move to another state. It's not like being in Europe where you need a passport. How did I get here?
so here's the thing.
Let's talk about guns.
Gomf, in Illinois, you need 16 hours of training and range competency for a CCP. Applied for mine 5 months ago and still waiting. You know, the messed up thing is though, Gomf, it's you got the weapon. Here's the problem in Illinois. If you use it, if you have to use it, if you get attacked and you're fearing for your life and you have to use it, you're gonna be in a lot of legal battles. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in a shit ton of legal battles. It's just because the laws they're so twisted in Illinois about. Anyway, Bruce City, you screwed up my joke. It's illegal in Wisconsin and most states for 18-year-olds to screw 17-year-olds. It's illegal. Yeah, that's you're not supposed to. I get it's like
Florida has a 5-year variancy. Has a 5-year variancy in age. So if you're like 19 or 20 and there's a 16-year old gal, you're not going to go to jail for it. Unless the parents want to press charges.
Yeah, I had a friend when we were 17. He was dating his. I did have a friend, yeah.
You got another one here too, Adam. He's thanking you.
Adam, thank you so much for the gun and picture. That USB gun is a lot heavier than I expected. Yeah, I was heavier than what I thought too. I can't wait to check out the footage. Enjoy it. Sorry it took me forever to get that to you, Ryan. We were just talking about that earlier. Got to get things done. Finish one thing, get done with the project, and then go on to the next. Yeah. Okay. Ultra Cowboy and Ron DeSantis. If you can't beat Donald Duck, then you can't beat Donald. Ultra Cowboy on Ron DeSantis. If you can't beat Donald Duck, you can't beat Donald Trump. Carrie Lake quoted that, I guess. She's a news reporter, Carrie Lake. What I just saw an article said that her and Kyle Rittenhouse were getting married. And I was like, how old is this woman? She's like 50. Yeah, and Kyle's like 21 or something, So
I think Kyle agreed to that one.
I think it was a piece of satire. Okay, it was a piece of satire but I looked at it and I went, "What the hell is this?" So, don't worry, Red. The meatball will be staying in Florida.
Thank you.
Numinous grin. And the AI and those damn robot dogs with guns. Yeah, man, that's what's going to come take them and be the robots. Memphis, Tennessee has a high homicide rate via gun violence. Criminals,
very high.
Mostly. Memphis, Tennessee. Blue state governments don't abide by the federal constitution. Would leave Illinois, but hard to leave your family and friends. Mad Attack. Yeah, it is. It is. So, but then again, it's hard to live in, that area too. I mean, yeah. Anyway,
what did Tim mean? What did Tim mean by this? I got Red's book. Oh, book. I think you mean book, not block.
I got Red. Oh, good.
We won't blame the computer you're on or your device for what you're doing, Tim, because it was you that typed it. Thank you, Tim. God bless you.
I'm pro-right to own firearms for law-abiding, plus for some felons that paid their dues. Depends on the nature of their past crime.
Yes, it does.
I don't know.
If it's a violent crime, no way.
Yeah, right. But okay, so you committed fraud and you stole, $200,000 from the city of Bensonville.
Does that mean you
It's a
can't have
felony.
something to protect yourself?
It's a felony, and so you should go to prison for it. You do your time, you come out. Was it a violent crime? No, but you did steal money, a lot of it, right? Enough that, geez, would this person steal more money, and would they go into the bank next with a gun?
Yeah, well, that's rare. That's very
Probably,
rare.
but yeah. More Italian beef sandwiches would help society get satisfied. Yes, it would. I agree.
I agree.
Yes, I agree. Um, yes, Gomp, I have insurance through the Concealed Carry Association. Good move. You should pay that every year. That pays legal expenses through the Court of Appeals. But you're right. Yeah, you'd be a shit show. That's the only way I could put it. It'll be a shit show for you. So, sounds like Florida has more sane laws. Whoa, has more
Yeah, we have a
sane
state your ground law. So if you're in your home or on your property and somebody invades your property and you're armed, if you shoot them, there's no lawsuits. There's no
Isn't it
lawsuits
something like
because
king of your castle law or something?
it's a castle doctrine. But what
There
they
you go.
do is they immediately take you over to a judge and you plead guilty for justifiable homicide. And it's not a felony. So you
Okay.
plead guilty to it, judge throws it out. That's the end of it. You can't be tried again. And that really cuts back on the civil suits.
So, Red, sounds like Florida has more sane laws on screwing than Wisconsin does. And Wisconsin law also refers to 17-year-olds as child or children.
They do here.
Do they?
They do.
It's not.
Yeah, they refer to anybody below 18 years of age as a child.
I mean, at one point you got to say, okay, you're a child, and then you got to say you're an adult. Now, child, there's infant, there's toddler, there's still a young adult. A young adult. When you become a teenager, you're a teenager, you're still a kid. You might not feel like it because you want to, because you're at that point, but legally by law, right? You can't buy cigarettes till you're an adult. So
21.
Oh, they moved it to 21 now?
Yes.
Like alcohol, yeah. Mm. So
but also
even at 18 to 21, you still don't have all of your rights to do whatever you want. So
no, you can buy a gun though.
You buy a gun, you can go fight in the war.
That's
you
right.
Can go get killed in the country, right?
Yeah. Or get killed.
Okay. I'm not licensed to carry firearms. I'm a knife guy myself. In Massachusetts, you could legally own any knife. However, there are laws as the blade length, 2.5 inches. Also can't carry switchblades. Didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. If it's about stealing, then no politician would qualify for a weapon. Amen to that. Yes. God.
Thumbs up on that one.
Yeah. Oh man. So, yeah, William, you're right. Saudi Arabia solves theft effectively. That's right. They cut your hand off.
Ultra cowboy.
Jesus.
That works.
If you can die for your country,
agree.
Drink and smoke. Sure.
I belong to a young Republican group. Way back when we got our draft age moved to 21. Our voting age, excuse me. Our voting age. If you're old enough to be drafted, you should be old enough to vote.
The voting age moved to 18. You moved it from 21 to 18.
Right.
Yeah, you said that backwards. Just so you know.
I did it the first time I ever announced it too.
I know you do. Every time you talk about that, you say it backwards. Adam, how about a gun shooting tour with drinks served? All right. Shooting and drinking together is not a great idea. Let's start with that. Okay, Robert? 2, We did approach a few gun ranges in town so that after the mob tour, we would give them vouchers to go shoot a Tommy gun. Because we thought, hey, mob tour, Tommy gun shooting, that would be fun. Go hand in hand. Didn't work out. Costs too much. Couldn't do it. Couldn't make it work. Couldn't make the.
Not only
the
that,
number.
how many people really can shoot one? They're very difficult to shoot. They call them choppers for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Up and to the right, up and to the right, up and to the right.
Yeah. Mad Attack, if you have to use a gun in self-defense, make sure it's not one of your expensive ones. They'll be hanging on to that for a good while. Oh, if you shoot, they'll be having your gun for a while. Matt, also.
Not here. If it's a justified shooting or righteous shooting, if it's justified, they just take the weapon, fire a round out of it so they can keep it for ballistics, and that's it. They give it back to you.
Yeah. Tim Peroni agrees. You'd be in a lot of problems. If it did happen, though, I'll give you a little advice. If it did happen and you shoot, the first thing you do is you try and help the person. That's number one. Number two, you call the police and you tell them what happened. You tell them, I just shot somebody.
That's not true.
Such and such location. What's not true?
The first thing you do is take their weapon away.
Okay. Agreed upon. If you shoot them and they're bleeding out, you get the weapon away. If they're not dead, okay, you get the weapon away from them.
Then you call 911.
Call 911.
Any kind of help you can.
Tell them where you are and that you shot somebody, and then wait when the police get there, and you give them your gun. And then you shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's a fact.
Okay? You don't say another thing. You get them arrested, you go down, they're going to process you, and you just go, and they start going to ask you questions. They're going to start questions like right away. And you go, I can't talk.
Unless they read you your Miranda, anything that you say cannot be used against you. So if you say,
they're going to read
this guy on my property. Pardon?
They're going to read you the Miranda first. Yes.
No,
they're going to tell you that.
If it's a righteous shooting, if they come out and they don't know what's happened yet, they don't read you your rights. They just ask you what happened.
Point is, you don't tell them a damn thing. You tell them you're too flustered. I'm too flustered. I was in fear for my life.
I'd rather have my attorney talk to you.
I want an attorney. That's it. That's it. And you shut up and you don't say another word. And they'll keep asking you questions, and you just say, I'm just don't say anything. Just sit there. Sit there until the attorney shows up. Yeah. According to Brandon, you need to irresponsibly unload a couple of rounds up in the air and the criminal will run. Not sure if he knows what goes up will come down. No. Yeah, you know how many people die from falling bullets, Red, every year?
Yes.
It's nuts, man. It's a real thing. Idiots shoot guns in the air. Oh, I'm going to celebrate New Year's Eve. Boom, 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 up in the air. That comes down somewhere.
That's why earlier in this podcast, I talked about shooting into the ground. I popped one near his foot. I didn't pop one up in the air. But the sound of that 45 was enough to really seize him. That was it. He didn't fire his pistol again.
Yep. Oh, you have a what? Brew City. We have an axe throwing bar in Milwaukee, but you throw the axe at the wall target and not at the patrons drinking. All right. I could see axe throwing being a little bit of fun. Not come back a couple brewskis and throw an axe around, Why not?
I think I wouldn't go into the bar.
I don't know.
Drinking,
I don't know. I'd want to hang out there.
Duck.
Yeah. Shit. Oh, never call and tell the police you shot someone. Just tell them there's a dead guy in my house and hang up. Okay, Sonny. There you go. Somebody else said that and hacked me. Okay. Yeah. Well, Red, we're an hour in. It's been a great day, man. Are you?
Thank you, Adam. Thank you for joining me.
Hey, you're welcome. It was a lot of fun. It was a neat chat today. I enjoyed hearing about all the different weapons, and I love everybody's opinions, man, back and forth, both sides. It's good to sit down and have a damn adult discussion.
I thank all of you for coming. I really enjoyed it. I really do, or did, and do.
Have a great day, guys.
God bless.
The combination of the videotapes and Ouimette's testimony resulted in the conviction of 2 men on extortion charges. One of them was Frank Schweiz, known in syndicate circles as the German, a feared mob terrorist and a suspect in a number of gangland murders.
He was described to me by other outfit individuals as the most feared hitman. And as he said to me, my reputation precedes me, son.